What's going on, guys? This is Raymond Iron by McKinney. Today I want to talk about axioms. It's a term used in mathematics where you can be able to propose ideas mathematically. I believe it's where you're proposing ideas and becomes a general accepted truth without proving it. And axioms are essentially assumptions. For example, I think Einstein had a quote saying, "I like to think that the moon is still there, even when I'm not looking at it." That's his assumption. And your assumptions become relative truth. Even though we could all be looking at the same moon, we have different assumptions, and our assumptions reveal different viewpoints of the same thing. And Neville Goddard says, "An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." So we all have relatively different assumptions of the same thing. And assumptions, you get a viewpoint. When you use your assumptions, you're using your frame of reference. Your frame of reference, directed by your assumptions, reveals your relative experiences. And that's why leading to different results, leading to controversy. There's nothing right or wrong in the universe, guys. Everything just is. And your assumptions reveal your relative experiences. Even like laws, guys. Like laws are like people. Laws are also accepted as relative truth. There's people, there's controversy around like quantum mechanics or theory of relativity, or it's like just these things where it's just like it's not universally accepted. Not always universally accepted. And yet, we still make assumptions. We always make assumptions about ourselves in relation to the world. How we see ourselves in relation to the world. You can make an assumption. You could, Rumi had a quote, like I said before in a video, Rumi had a quote saying, "Live as though life is rigged in your favor." Or Immanuel Kant, live your life as though every act were to become a universal law. You do not have to prove any kind of law, prove anything, guys. You just make an assumption, live by an assumption as though it were true, and then it becomes relatively true, according to your frame of reference directed by your assumptions, your self-narrative. Axioms, guys. Axioms are essentially assumptions. When we're talking about mathematics, and mathematics is a precise science directed by, and your frame of reference reveals mathematical equations. When you see people thinking, they're using their frame of reference. When they're thinking and trying to come up with mathematical problems, they're trying to solve problems, and answers come up. When they're thinking. When you're thinking from the state. You're making that assumption that the answer is going to come. And it does, relative to your frame of reference. And we can also make assumptions about other things too, guys. We can make assumptions about abundance, a relationship with money, relationships with people, romantic relationships, ourselves, our health, all these things, guys. It's our assumptions which harden into relative fact. And guys, it's really freeing to think of it like this. Because, I created the law of iron body. No matter how fake the law is, I can still live by it as though it were true. And then it becomes relatively true. People will see me as it saying, "Hey, I heard you're using the law of iron body." Or, "Wow, you must be using the law of iron body to get that, to be that successful." Guys, it's your frame of mind. It's life reveals itself. Life is what you make it with your frame of mind, your frame of reference, directed by your assumptions, your self-narrative, your assumptions / self-narrative. Law of assumption, guys. An assumption though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Whenever you pray or assume, believe in the possibility that you received it, and you shall have it. And prayer is simply self-persuade confidence, guys. And if you saw my other poster I made yesterday, it was showing like me as a King Neptune ruling Atlantis, the god of the sea. And the two Pokemon Gyarados left of me and Primal Kyogre right of me. Gyarados is that rage and self-confidence within me. Self-persuade confidence within me. That rage and self-persuade confidence within me. And Primal Kyogre symbolizes the magnitude of this pulsating, energetic power within me. Both of them combined, I have that rage and convinced, self-persuade confidence within myself. And that magnitude of energetic, pulsating power within me. That's what the picture is symbolizing. And I think Pokemon's cool. I think the animation is cool when it comes to Pokemon. So, yeah, guys, live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. Assume the greatness out of yourself. Assume greatness out of yourself. Even though the entire world says it can't happen. Can't happen. If you assume it's true for yourself and you know it's true, if you feel confident knowing and assuming that it's true for yourself, regardless of what the external world says, it will become fact in your world. Just think of it, guys. The great, like, revolutionary ideas that happen start from people who would use their power of thinking. As you think from the heart, so shall you become. What you often think about, you become. Those who just think beyond mediocre way of thinking, they rise above the grave. And greatness already exists within you guys. Success is already within you. Nothing's lost from you guys. Everything just is. You're becoming increasingly aware of what already is. You're simply observing infinite aspects of yourself. You are the universe observing infinite aspects of itself. In people, events, places, nature, outer space, the galaxies, everything, guys. You are the power. You are this universal absolute power, given meaning to life. What you give meaning to is what reveals itself, what manifests in your world. And that's how I'm going to leave it, guys. Change the way you talk to yourself. Change the way you self-narrate. When you change the way you look at things in relation to the world, the things you look at change. So, when you change your conception of yourself in relation to the world, the things around you simultaneously mirror your assumptions. That's it, guys. Change your self-narrative, and your world will change relative to your frame of reference. So I hope this video helps. I bless you all, and happy manifesting. What would Iron Buy do?